well-rounded, with good food and health. Whatever deprivations we had known, they were not material. The bell rang, the train slowed, and we looked out into great pens of white-faced cattle driven in from the range, waiting to be loaded for market. The pens seemed endless. The prescient bawling of the cattle added a strange dimension to the already strange atmosphere. The little station slid alongside, and we saw Papa, whom we hadn't seen for 5 long months, watching for a sight of us. My sister ran ahead and leapt into his arms. We 4 had a happy reunion until my mother mentioned the piano. "We're 50 miles from here. I'll have to hire a wagon to come after it. God damn!" "Oh, Walt, I couldn't leave my piano." We didn't see the town of Lamar, but were bustled at once into a black Ford touring car with all curtains fastened against the cold wind. Luggage was tied to the steps and the back. 1 other passenger sat with the driver, another in the back seat with us. As I was the last getting in, there was no room for me. My father was holding my sister on his lap, and he commanded me to sit on the floor among the feet. I was angry and humiliated. I wanted to see the land we passed, but dark was already rushing by as if the night wind had turned black. The single dirt road I had seen ran straight on level plain. We met no one. Cold air came up through the cracks of the floorboards, but the silent company above gave off body heat. In spite of discomfort and my lowly position among the high-buttoned shoes, my sense of adventure began to reassert itself. I was traveling again, and I could hardly wait for tomorrow in a new place. But a new place suggested an old one, and I began to think of my pony, who must be missing me on his bare back, my moccasined feet holding softly against his painted flanks. I would never again ride him fast over the Indian lands or to and from the town of Red Rock. I would never again be known or called by my Indian name, Little Cheyenne riding like the wind. I tried to imagine that I was back there with them, in old Eddie's big lap, or held tenderly against Chief Black Hawk's tobacco-smelly chest, hearing his heart thunder in my ear over his long silences, or his rare monosyllables of love. I cried myself to sleep, thinking of the friends I had lived with and played with for 3 years, especially of Shy Quail, and Young Man Afraid of His Horse. He was afraid only when set upon his first horse. At the powwows, the 3 of us had raced bareback on our horses, an eagle feather in our headbands, wanting to be like the braves. I had seen not one woman or man at the station of Lamar with long black braided hair, wearing bright blankets. Not one. This was a strange place. My mother shook me gently awake, and we got out of the car, weary and stiff from the long ride. Our traveling companions went their way. The tiny village of 2 Buttes was dark with sleep. A lighted window of the small place where we stopped beckoned us to spend the night. Mama suggested it. "There's no hotel here," Papa said. "We have to go on." He had arranged it with the driver. "We'll just stretch our muscles." We could hardly bear the thought of still another journey. We had only napped on the train since leaving Oklahoma, but Papa's word was law. A woman in nightclothes opened the lighted door and looked at us one by one. "Want a cup of Java?" "Oh, yes. Oh, thanks, Mama said. "Come in out of the cold wind, all of you," the woman said, and we went in, the driver rubbing his hands and doing a grim little dance to get his kinks out. "I'll fix the girls some warm milk." She handed Mama a lighted lantern and showed us the long path on the hard ground that led to an outhouse with a crescent and star carved in its door. When we came back, the warm drinks were ready, the simple kitchen fragrant with coffee. A loganberry pie was cut. "Couldn't heat the pie," the woman said. "It'd take a year to heat the oven. Fire's been out for hours. I just heated up the coffee and milk with cedar bark." That accounted for the